feel as a union that they've basically turned on us. We're the people who have worked to provide a great education system, and now they're attacking us and attacking the rest of the public sector. They're attacking the people who make this province strong.
And tell us, what are some of the frustrations with your members right now?
Well, basically, I mean, what they're proposing to us is really going to hit our newest members. And those are the teachers who will have 20, 30 years left to work in this job. And they're really attacking them when we look at what they're presenting to us in terms of our collective agreements. And we can't let that happen to our new members.
Okay. And I was just saying to Sid Ryan earlier, the last time I've seen this kind of rally with so many different unions and groups was really during the Mike Harris days in the 90s. Are you surprised that you're here today having to rally like this?
Not really. I think we've seen it coming for a while. We saw the private sector unions be attacked over the past couple of years. We knew it was coming toward us. We were hoping to ward it off by supporting a government that we thought was more supportive of the public sector, but unfortunately not. It's us now.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. So that was Lisa from the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario, and really, we are seeing groups from all over, the CAW, the Ontario Federation of Labour, the Steel Workers Union, pretty much CUPE Ontario. So many people are here. This is going to get underway in less than half an hour. We have a long list of speakers that are going to take this stage, and once that is done, this entire group is going to be marching its way through downtown Toronto. Basically, they're going to travel along Wellesley up to Bay up to Bloor Street, Bloor across to Avenue Road, and they're going to make their way back here to Queen's Park. And keep in mind, this is all because of this budget. Many people here feel that the budget is unfair and it's putting the burden on low-income families and middle-class families. And basically, everyone here is looking for a fair budget that's reasonable for everybody. And that crucial vote for the budget comes down this Tuesday. It's the very reason why all these people are here today to protest against all these cuts and wage increases that are being proposed in this budget. Pooja?
All right, that's Ji-Yeon Lee live at Queen's Park. Thank you so much for that update. Of course, we'll be checking back in with you, and do stay with Toronto's Breaking News CP24. We're going to have complete coverage of this afternoon's rally for you at Queen's Park.
Breaking News.
It's 3 o'clock, overcast skies, 7 degrees from 299 Queen Street West. This is Toronto's Breaking News, CP24. Good afternoon, I'm Carmen Wong. Well, traffic and weather together, but first our top story. A rally protesting the Ontario budget is underway at Queen's Park. Here's a live look right now at Queen's Park, where representatives from more than 90 community and labor groups are gathering to protest what they call an unfair provincial budget. Demonstrators from across the province arrived by bus on the front lawn. The rally will begin at Queen's Park, followed by a march across Bloor Street to Yorkville. Now, CP24 Stephen Ledrew, he joins us now live in studio. Stephen, this is not a sight the McGuinty government, the Liberals, are used to seeing. Hundreds of people, especially labor and unions, protesting them on the front lawns.
It is a government, though, that's been in power for a number of years, and you get protests. Besides that, when you bring in a budget like this, which, if they had a majority government, would not be a bad budget, but it's minority government, and this government doesn't understand that so far. They're starting to, because the Premier gave in to Ms. Horwath yesterday on two of the essential points.
Yeah.
Yes, and as we heard this morning here on CP24, she wants more for the working people of Ontario. I was just looking at the pictures from Chapter 24 of that. Sid Ryan is saying that, they're looking at thousands and thousands, and one time he said perhaps 10,000. It doesn't look so far like it's going to be the big success that they had hoped for. Lots of speakers lined up. And yes, I mean, they have had some buses coming in there, but we'll have to look and see whether they have buses from all the communities that they were planning to have. And that could be a sign that not everyone agrees with what they are doing on this thing. I mean, if there's overflowing onto the streets around Queen's Park, that's one thing. Well, I've done some crowd estimations. A very, very difficult thing to do, Carmen, but we'll just take another look at that in a few minutes and see how many people are in there today and what the speakers are going to do and how they're going to be responded to.
All right, well, Stephen, you're with me for the rest of the afternoon. We've also got you covered on the ground. Devin Soltende, he's at Queen's Park right now, can give us a perspective of what's happening there. Devin.
Thanks very much, guys. Well, right now, everybody is just waiting. There's a lot of music playing. We're anticipating a number of speakers, but you saw those shots over here. Let me just give you a bit of perspective. It's just how many people. It's like a sea of flags of people, and the message is united. We are Ontario. That is a message here as labor groups are protesting what they're calling a lopsided budget, accusing the Liberals of cutting jobs as well as services. There are teacher union members here. There are members from the Canadian Auto Workers Union. 97 buses brought a whole lot of people in here today. Everybody has a different message, but they're all united. We're here with Ed Gould. You're from the Canadian Auto Workers Union. You came in from St. Catharines. What brings you out here today?
I'm here representing the auto workers and all the small people of Ontario that are looking for a break. The corporations have had enough for years. It's time for the little people to get something in their life.
Now, if you talk to different people here, everybody will have, probably a different problem within the budget. What bothers you most about this budget? What really brought you out here today?
Well, I think that there should be relief of the HST on the heating oil and all the things that supply a home. People out there need a break on their heating home oil.
When you look out here, when you see all these flags, all these different stories here, surprised you that this many people came out?
No, not really. Wish the weather was better, probably twice as many. It is a little bit cold here, but I think it's a pretty good turnout.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right. So again, we're expecting to hear from literally dozens of speakers here today. Of course, Sid Ryan will be speaking. Andrea Horwath is set to speak a little bit later. Now, as for the Liberals, for their part, they say that they are dealing with massive deficits. Of course, they're talking about willingness to work with the NDP, something that will have to happen, of course, before Tuesday. But that, for a lot of people, they say is completely not acceptable, especially when you talk about this budget as it stands right here. We're going to be talking with a lot more people throughout the afternoon. With that said, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you very much for that, Devin. Stephen, we saw the CAW. They were benefits of the auto bailout that the McGuinty government worked with the federal government with. We got the teachers there who have, traditionally always sided with the Liberals.
Absolutely. That's one of the big things that will militate against an election on Tuesday is that, McGuinty knows that his Minister of Education has alienated a lot of the teacher unions, and the teacher unions traditionally have not only got out there and worked for the Liberals in the elections and organizing and voting and stuff, they pay a lot of money. They each teacher was docked last time to put money into the Liberal coffers. So, that is going to be a little bit more incentive for Mr. McGuinty to deal with Andrea Horwath in a way that she wants so that there's no election on Tuesday. It's also interesting when they're saying that they're cutting jobs. As you point out rightly, this government saved a lot of CAW jobs by investing in the auto sector when it was really, on its heels. And it just shows that, in politics, Carmen, it's not what you did for me yesterday or what you're doing for me today.
Absolutely.
It's what you're going to do for me tomorrow.
But I got to ask, if it's not the Liberals that they're going to support, what's the alternative? Who's going to be as labor friendly as the Liberals have been? Is it going to be the NDP, who, by the way, had nothing to say about the public sector wage freeze in the budget? Didn't really disagree with it.
Yeah, well, everybody knows that with the Drummond report, you can't spend what you don't have. In fact, the government is doing that, but you can only go so far doing that. You can only borrow so much. So even the NDP realizes that you can't just keep spending willy-nilly like that. So there is some restraint. When Andrea Horwath has been very clear in her messaging, and she is, turning into an amazing politician, having press conferences on Saturday morning, everybody's there. She is focusing on those who need the help most. And she's been very clear in that message, and that's where her appeal is coming this afternoon. I'm not certain whether, if the CAW is standing up there and saying that, the government cut jobs. It's not the government that is cutting jobs. It's the government that is trying to facilitate the private sector to create jobs. So there's a difference in that. That is, every time you have a protest against the government, you're going to have certain organized labor factors out there, and that's what we're seeing this afternoon. Again, we were just, when Devin was speaking to that gentleman from the CAW from St. Catharines, he was saying, well, it's a little bit cool out there. Yes, it's cool, but if people were really fired up, they'd be out there protesting. It's not as though, it was minus 20. In Russia, in Moscow this winter, there was a protest, 100,000 people. I think it was minus 15 or minus 18 degrees, and they're out there for hours and hours. So let's just see the force. That's what we want to see this afternoon. The number of people there, the force of the conviction of the people there, and see whether, in fact, it's going to have a big repercussion on the government. It is going to be a positive thing for Andrea. No question about that. Having people up there, let's just not diminish it. It's going to be positive for her. If she has a meeting tomorrow with the Premier, then it's going to be important.
All right. Well, we also want to check in with CP24's Jackie Crandall. She'll be following the protest, which is expected to move a little bit later. Jackie, what can you tell us?
Well, we're going to be right in the thick of it. The march itself will get underway after a few speakers take the stage around 4 o'clock. It's going to take about 45 minutes to do the entire route. I have the head marshal with me now, Lori. Lori, what can you tell us about the route? Where are you planning to go? And we know it's going to take about 45 minutes. Tell us the route.
We're going to be heading out north on Queen's Park Crescent, and then we're going to be going east across Wellesley and north on Bay Street to Bloor, and then we're going to be marching across Bloor Street and back down Queen's Park Crescent.
So the final location before you head back, the Yorkville area, tell me about the significance of that. That's a very specific route that you're taking.
Yes, it is. It's the first time we've ever taken this route. We usually take our message down south, down to King and Bay, and we considered that this time. But we thought, no, we should go visit the 1%. We have these thousands of people here who can't afford to shop on Bay Street in Yorkville, and we thought we should take our message up there. So I think it is quite significant that we go visit the 1%. So the 99% are going to see the 1%.
Are going to be marching. So the police are going to be leading the route, or leading the charge, let's say. How is this logistically going to work?
We have the police that are shutting down the streets. They're cooperating with us very well. And they're going to lead the parade with the police car. And then we have one of the OFL staff is a truck with a sound system in it that's going to be leading us. We'll have chants and music from the truck. And then we'll have the banner with the leadership following that. And then at the end, we have a TTC bus here behind me for people with mobility issues so that they can participate as well.
Very good. Thanks, Laura. Very big undertaking. Good luck.
Thank you.
And again, the march itself is going to get underway at around 4 o'clock. Almost more than a dozen speakers going to take the stage first. We're going to be right in the thick of it. As I mentioned, our truck is going to be probably in the middle of the march, and we're going to follow the march the entire route and head back to Queen's Park with that. Back to you.
Great. Thank you very much for that, Jackie. And make sure you do keep it here on Toronto's Breaking News CP24. We will bring you back live to Queen's Park just a little bit later on in the show.